So here it is. The first video in a series of uncovering, introducing, and evolving. I feel like this is a response to a lot of things that have been happening for me recently, personally, professionally. And I feel that I've got to a point where I need to start and share and be more visible. Not just for my work, but also, as I said, for my personal growth and for my personality. I think that I have a lot to share, and I think that in sort of like, well, for as long as I can remember, I've stayed hidden, and maybe that's something that we can dive into and dissect at some point in the future. I think one of the most recent discoveries that I've had is that I am actually my brand. I think I'm definitely somebody that is like, known to ideate and to design and to plan and to create a lot of the time quietly and behind the scenes and for other people sometimes. And I have all of these amazing ideas and these brilliant insights and, ideas for things that I want to put out into the world and share. However, I just don't. There's been a block, or there has been a block for quite some time in regards to this. And I feel that now is the time. No amount of planning, preparation, design, cool names, activities, workbooks, you name it. Like, none of those things are going to get me where I need to be without me being present, without me being the face of it. And this is it. This is the time. I think there's been a lot of hesitation around how it may be received, whether I'll face or feel judged. Will I feel comfortable or uncomfortable? And I guess the response to that part is the only way really to find out is by doing it, right? By knowing, by pulling the trigger, by putting yourself out there. And I say all that to say, I am very aware that some of the things that I may choose to discuss or to dive into might not be for everybody, and some will. And I guess with that, it's about what resonates for others will resonate with them. And if it doesn't resonate, then that's okay. Keep it moving, unsubscribe, unfollow, dislike, whatever. But I guess at this point, I have to do these things for me and my brand. I get in my own way, and I find there's conflict within myself because I am able to do all of the things that I want to do for other people, for other brands, for other organizations. And there's something in that bit where I'm not, or haven't to this point, been fully ready to show up for me, for myself. And I'm not sure what that's about. I feel like in other organizations, or when I'm being paid to do it for the people, there's a safety in that. And it removes the vulnerability because I'm given the material, or I'm given the direction, or I'm told what they need from me, right? So when I reverse engineer that, I know that I'm capable, and I know that like people see the potential because they ask me to do these things for them. However, it's just me not showing up and doing the things that I need to do for me. And so this is hopefully going to be the first in a series of videos where I talk and, in real time, you see me change lanes. This is my turning point. And I think that another thing, as it's coming through to me now, is that I was dead set on knowing how to frame my message, or what it is that I want to say, or knowing where to start. And I think that there isn't a place. There isn't the perfect place. There isn't the right time. And I say all that out loud and I'm laughing to myself because actually, like, if it was me telling a friend or me telling a colleague what to do, I'd be like, just get on with it, just do it, figure it out as you go. But when it comes to me and my projects or my, you know, I don't even say offer because it's not an offering at this point, right? It's just an honest conversation. When it comes to me, there is some resistance. I get hung up on the finer details, the aesthetic, like every single thing that I can do to procrastinate, I will do to procrastinate. But then again, in contrast to that, like in real life, for other people, for clients, for, you know, people that I work with on like, you know, like on projects or programs or in class, like I'm there, I show up, I'm efficient and I get the job done. And again, that's why people work with me. It's just interesting and still something that I'm learning to try and decipher. You know, with that in mind, I guess the other part is that I am able, and yeah, I think that now is the time that people meet me in the messy middle, because I think that like I said, I've always been sort of set on it being right and it feeling right and knowing that it's right. But I think a lot of the things in life aren't always right, and we don't always have the right time. Some things are actually put upon us and we have to react in the moment. Some things we wait for, some things come when they're supposed to come. But I don't think that like starting something ever really has the right time. And I also felt that, you know, for a long time that I couldn't really share experiences or be visible or talk about the things that I wanted to talk about because I didn't have it all figured out. But like, I don't think we ever really have everything figured out. I think that there are times that we sort of get to a point where we're like taking it all in, or like we've climbed a hill essentially, and then we get to the top and we're able to look and take stock. But then, you know, we're very quickly looking for the next hill to climb or the next project to take on, right? But what I am good at and what I've also identified is that I can see in and support others with, you know, climbing their own hills, you know? And so I don't have to have got to the top of my hill or the hill that they want to climb in order to support, you know, like I'm able to support and to bring attention and focus to blind spots or things that they may not have considered or whatever that looks like, right? And I think that also me starting to share my story, my experiences, being visible, is going to be helpful because there's going to be a lot of other people that are in similar situations that do find value in the things that I have to say, that, you know, even to a point, and like this isn't like a literal thing, but that look like me. You know, I think that that's another thing, that visibility and seeing people that look like you is really, really important. And I think that that's one of the things that I really strive for in everything that I do. You know, it sits at the intersection of like culture, like identity and creativity, and it's like where those things all meet, you know. And I think that sometimes, like when I look around and I'm looking for inspiration, I'm looking for expansion, I don't always see the people that look like me, and I'm like, well, also then there's another problem for you to solve. Be visible, be seen. And so here, you know, here I am, and like this video is not really to signify anything else other than being the starting point, right? It's not anything other than me showing up for me and, you know, essentially trying to build momentum. I've been doing a lot of reading. I'm always reading, I'm always researching, I'm always like looking at some level of self-development or listening to a podcast or whatever. And it's like, you know, ever the student, ever this sort of person that's gathering knowledge. But what good is the knowledge if you don't integrate it or implement it? Like, I don't think there's a point, you know. And also we can only hold so much, right? And as we evolve and, you know, we continue to evolve into the different versions of ourselves, then sometimes that knowledge becomes irrelevant or unimportant. So I guess that then in turn does have an effect on the kind of, oh my God, I've lost what I was going to say. the implementation of it all, I've completely forgotten what I was going to say. But yeah, what was I going to say? I've completely forgot. I've completely forgot. Anyway, it will come back to me at some point. But yeah, I guess before I forgot what I was going to say, I guess the kind of point of all of this is to be the beginning. It's for me to start to show up, to build momentum. That's what I was going to say. That is exactly what I was going to say. So I guess one of the things I have taken from some of the things that I've been looking at recently is this concept and this idea of reps, like reps that we build in the gym. So like repetitions when we're lifting weights, right? And without doing enough repetitions, we're not building muscle, which means we can't become stronger. It's like, another analogy was that each thing that you do and create is a brick. You can't build your castle without enough bricks, right? And so it's about volume and quantity. You know what I'm saying? You have to do it enough for it to become a thing that you can then say that you do, right? It's like I've been skiing once, but I'm not a skier, right? But I've been running for 10 years. I'm a runner. So it's that, so like, I guess this is the first in a series of many repetitions. It's the first brick that I'm using to lay my foundation. But essentially, I think it's me. And, this is kind of where I'm at. I think it's important that I share this. I'm being hassled by a few people that at some point within this series of videos you will get to meet. But I think it's time. So hopefully you took something from this video. And if you didn't, then maybe the next one will be for you. And in the meantime, thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.